we're doing our tag team tournament to crown Kings of the Ring. First, we have to have the final 8, if you would. So in order to do that, we have to have these preliminaries, in which we're going to break it into brackets, and this is bracket number 2, and this is match number 2 of bracket number 2, and this is the other half of the final 4, which is the Flock. Representing the Flock is Raven and Stevie Richards, versus the legendary tag team known as the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott Steiner. The dog-faced gremlin and the Big Papa Pump himself. It's been a little while since we've seen the Steiner brothers in action, as well as the Flock for that matter, but Raven and the Flock, probably one of the most underrated groups of all time, probably one of the most innovative as well, as they were one of the factions in WCW, as well as ECW, that kept things interesting and kept everyone's heads on swivels. I think Raven, if you want to say that, I think Raven is probably one of the greatest minds in wrestling. I don't think he gets a lot of justice for how he believes and what he thinks, as he locks it up with the dog-faced gremlin himself. Big sexy Stevie Richards in the corner. Raven writes to Rick Steiner. Remember, these are the same rules that apply. I think when it comes to continuity goes, I don't know how often Stevie Richards and Raven actually teamed. I know that Stevie has driven Raven crazy for many years, and he's been part of the Flock for multiple years, but and also all cross-branded. Although Rick and Scott Steiner have had tag team titles just about in every company they've ever been into. That being said, I would have to say that the Steiner brothers have the prestige of having the lineage, as Stevie Richards is tagged in, dog-faced gremlin with a nice belly-to-belly suplex. And if you guys who are wondering where, I think it was this. You guys are fans of the head scissors or the Frankensteiners, as they've been called. You want to owe that to the Steiner brothers, as they made the head scissors popular with their Frankensteiner, which they had dubbed. And of course, they also made suplexes also part of their arsenal, and they're probably one of the most decorated tag teams of all time, are the Steiner brothers. Of course, years later, they do more singles matches, but we'll see what happens when they still team up, and there's a nice slam right there. And big sexy Stevie Richards having some problems right now with the dog-faced gremlin. And bad news, Stevie, here comes big Rick Scott Steiner. Goes to the ropes. There's the Bulldog. This could be it right here, folks. Remember, it's elimination, folks.
A competitor
so
has been eliminated.
Raven's by himself against the Steiner brothers. Drops Scott Steiner gut first across the knee. Raven's going to have to pull out every tool he has necessary to beat these two by himself. Scott Steiner with the push-ups. Ever so fit is Big Papa Pump, who's your hookup. Russian leg sweep on the outside. Remember, folks, there's no countouts, no disqualifications, but submissions in pinfalls must take place in the ring, or you could knock out your opponent too. That's a possibility as well. We're yet to see that yet, as Scott Steiner takes Raven down with a clothesline on the outside. All honesty, I don't know if I'd want to fight Raven on the outside of the ring. I feel like that would be that's his world, I feel, if you're Rick and Scott Steiner. If I was Rick and Scott Steiner, I'd probably more stick to the ring, where they are a lot of people probably forget that Rick and Scott Steiner are very decorated collegiate wrestlers, as they are, Letterman in Michigan State University, as they were part of the original varsity club, as Scott Steiner takes Raven down. Oh, Steiner goes for a submission on Raven, which I don't think you're going to get. There's a lot of fight in Raven. Raven part of a lot of instrumental moments in ECW history. Scott Steiner. He's another guy that's pretty much been in just about everywhere there is. And now they're going, oh no, not the Bulldog again. Here goes the Bulldog again, ladies and gentlemen. And this could be it right here, folks. There's the Bulldog, there's the pin.
A competitor
and the Steiner brothers.
Eliminated.
I don't know if anybody's really surprised, but for the record, the Flock did win their match to qualify to get against the Steiner brothers. So it's not like they're a lame tag team. Those Flock are tougher than they seem. Perhaps Raven should have gone with fellow Flock member Billy Kidman. We might have still been in it if Billy Kidman was still there. But then again, the size, power, and experience factor has come into play here, I feel. As you see Rick Steiner right here to put the nail in the coffin on poor Raven. And there's the pinfall, and that would take it right there. So now we know what we're going to have for a match. It's going to be a... in the words
Here
of...
are your winners, Rick Steiner and Freakzilla Scott Steiner, the Steiner brothers.
Okay. So Rick and Scott Steiner are about to implode with the APA. Stick around.